Greetings, everyone. I am Abhik Biswas, co-founder of Equal Genius Foundation and Prakat Solutions, welcoming you on behalf of Equal Genius Foundation, Prakat Solutions, and Mitra Jyoti to this year's Global Accessibility Awareness Day celebration. I hope you're all excited and ready to absorb all the things which our multiple speakers are going to share with us. This year has been extremely interesting. The roll-up to the event has been extremely interesting, with several large organizations coming in to support us. We have the Rotary District 3190 who is working with us on this event this year. We have the Multiple Sclerosis Society of India who is working with us this year. And we also have several partners from all over the world who are supporting this event in many ways. We have a great lineup of speakers who are going to be talking about many areas which they are passionate about. I'm sure you will find a few of these which are in sync with the kind of things which you are interested in, as well as there are things which you can also take to your workplace from some of those conversations. I hope you will all enjoy this event and send us your feedback at the end of the event on what you liked, what you didn't like, so that we can make this event even better the next year. So we have speakers coming up in the next few minutes. From the GAAD Foundation, we have one of the founders of GAAD, Joe Deven himself, who's going to tell you about the story about GAAD. And then we will have other interesting speakers and panels around the space of autism, around the space of inclusion and normalization in the workplace. We have another panel which is on autism. And there are several speakers in between who are going to be sharing their points of view. We have speakers from companies like the Dalrada Corporation. We have speakers from Infosys. We have a couple of people from SAP who are in the various panels. So I think it's going to be a very exciting 3 hours for us. I request you to go through the entire content with us. If you are not able to go through it in one sitting, you will be able to come back and watch the recordings. So look forward to all your encouragement and attention to this event, the Global Accessibility Awareness Day 2022. This is the 11th GAAD celebration since the inception of GAAD. Thank you very much and welcome once again, and let's have a great time.
The entertainment and media industry has evolved in favor of convenience. We went from hopping onto our screens at pre-scheduled times on television to viewing it as per our wants on our laptops. So much change in the past few decades. The limitation to this now remains making it accessible to people with disabilities. One person who comprehended this need is our next speaker, Joe Deven, a serial entrepreneur who has been helping grow the Los Angeles tech ecosystem since 2008. He's also the co-founder of Global Accessibility Awareness Day based off his blog titled Challenge. Accessibility know-how needs to go mainstream with developers. The movement has since gained momentum and is now a worldwide phenomenon. Joe co-founded Deven, an inclusive digital agency specializing in scalable, accessible, and high-performance web and mobile applications. With clientele like Fox, they are working towards a more inclusive entertainment experience. He is also on the advisory board at the University of California Information Technology program. Joe has left almost no stone unturned at his pursuit of an inclusive and accessible future. We're extremely honored to have him amongst us today.
Welcome everyone to GAAD Online. My name is Joe Deven and I'm the co-founder of Global Accessibility Awareness Day as well as Diamond. Today I'm going to be speaking about the story of Global Accessibility Awareness Day. Accessibility is personal. But let's first define what it is. Accessibility is the quality of being suitable or adapted for use by people with disabilities. Global Accessibility Awareness Day is commonly referred to as just GAAD to make it easy. It is celebrated the third Thursday every May, and this is the 10th anniversary. You can have lots of fun by following the GAAD, the GAAD hashtag on Twitter and other social media. And please visit our URL at globalaccessibilityawarenessday.org. Now, what really prompted the creation of Global Accessibility Awareness Day is my dad's journey. And it all began with an indignity. You see, my dad, he survived the concentration camps, and he just commanded respect when he walked in a room. He didn't have to say anything. My dad spoke 10 languages. It all just showed through. He was a Talmudic scholar. He knew the Bible practically by heart and much of the Talmud too, but he was as good at science as he was at biblical studies. And here's a picture of him at the Jet Propulsion Laboratory. As he got older, he started to lose his hearing, his vision started to go, banking on the phone became impossible, and it led to a situation where my dad lost his independence because he was unable to bank. Just getting to the bank physically would require using Access Paratransit, which meant you had to schedule it a day in advance. You had to wait outside in 100-degree heat sometimes for hours, or in a place without a restroom. It was just really impossible. And what was sad is that as a web developer at the time myself, I thought, there really should be a solution for this, and the solution should be on the web. Online banking should have covered this. And I just felt so completely impotent to make any kind of difference because the bank wasn't accessible. If a bank isn't accessible, well, what else are you going to do? So I wrote this blog post on an obscure blog called MySQL Talk, proposing that we create a day of awareness for people that build digital products, that they should make their products work for people with disabilities. And after I wrote it, I thought nothing much would come of it. But to my utter shock, Jennison Asuncion, who was a blind accessibility advocate in Canada and now heads an important team for LinkedIn, he found the blog post and said, hey, we're going to make it happen. And in 2012, Global Accessibility Awareness Day was officially born. And if you're wondering, if you're thinking about disability like, oh, it's just some random folks, it's a small percentage here and there. And if you think that it doesn't matter, just understand that this event went viral from year one. We had all kind of interesting things happen, from Stephen Fry tweeting it out to India made governmental events. It was syndicated all over Canada, made my hometown paper. There were 16 events from the first year, and it just struck a chord because it affects so many people. Unfortunately, my dad, who really inspired the GAAD event, passed away by the second one on February 16th, 2013. And he left my brother and I, he was the caretaker for my mom, and he left my brother and I to take care of her. My mom had dementia. And when you want to talk about accessibility and caretaking, you really learn a lot if you ever have to deal with taking care of someone with dementia. But the show must go on. And even though I was totally fried, to my utter shock, the community took on GAAD, and lots of companies started to celebrate the event. And we started to collect these NASCAR logo strips, I like to call them. By year 3, the numbers grew. And then an event happened that was the first of many to bring chills down my spine. The very bank that was inaccessible sent us an email, and they said, please don't say anything publicly. And I never mentioned their name publicly, but we know we have a lot of work to do with accessibility. And so we're doing an internal event to improve the accessibility of our websites. To this day, they don't even know that they inspired the event. So this is just to show you, beyond the fact that accessibility affects so many people, it's that if you have a good vision and you have a community behind it, you can really achieve great things. So by year 4, we started to collect more logos, year 5, even more logos. And then by year 6, I couldn't even fit the logos on a slide, let alone track it. It's just grown so big. And let's fast forward to last year, which was year 9. Unfortunately, my mom passed away. She was never really understood what GAAD was. She wouldn't have known the name if you said it to her. Because her dementia was advanced enough by the time it started. But knowing my mom, she wouldn't have liked this to only be an event about that really came out of my dad. She would have wanted to be a part of it. And she passed at noon on Global Accessibility Awareness Day, just a half an hour after I dedicated the event to her. And so this year is the 10th year. So let's look back on a few notable moments. Here we have a tweet by Tim Cook, the CEO of Apple, sharing that he invited Stevie Wonder to give a concert on the Apple campus. The big tech companies started to change their homepage for the day, from Microsoft, IBM, Yahoo, Apple. And then one really big moment, which I will leave you with, is this one. Microsoft released this Xbox adaptive controller. And they made a Super Bowl video with these 3 kids who are just incredible. I suggest you go and find that video because it explains better than any way I could. These kids don't want your pity. They don't want my pity. It's not inspirational, which is a common problem out there, that people try to make an inspiration out of folks with disabilities who try and get on with their life. These kids, all they want is to be able to play video games. And if we do our job right, if we consider the craft of digital product development to include accessibility and people with disabilities, we are going to enable these kids to play their game and lots of folks like them to interact with the web and with mobile apps. And if we don't, they won't, and it's shame on us. So I want to leave you with a positive note. We've made a tremendous amount of improvement. We're hitting a Twitter reach of 200 million, which is the active daily user count at Twitter. They all see the GAAD hashtag. The awareness is beginning to get over there, and we're making lots of great strides. So hopefully in the next few years, we're going to see that accessibility is really going to have its moment and it's really going to shine. And with that, I wish you all, thank you for creating a GAAD event, and I wish you a happy 10th Global Accessibility Awareness Day. Thank you so much.
We are glad to have with us Renuka Malaka, the former National Secretary and currently the National Joint Secretary of Multiple Sclerosis Society of India, MSSI. A caregiver for her husband who has primary progressive MS, she works tirelessly to amplify and bring in awareness about MS and heads the activities of 9 local MS chapters across the country: Bangalore, Chennai, Delhi, Hyderabad, Indore, Kolkata, Mumbai, Pune, and Trivandrum. Having graduated with an honours degree in philosophy in 1983 from Miranda House, Delhi University, she went on to pursue her degree in B.Ed. Ms. Renuka represented India in the MS International Federation, UK CEO Advisory Committee, Resource Alliance Group, MS Atlas Working Group, and the International Working Group on Access to Affordable Treatment. She also has been actively involved in advocating for the rights of persons with disabilities. Her priorities involve improving access to healthcare and affordable treatment and increasing livelihood opportunities with a focus on inclusion and integration. Now, she leads the National Advocacy Initiative of MSSI. Her expertise lies in conceptualization, project implementation and monitoring, strategy planning, leadership development, and fundraising. She is also the grandniece of Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose and currently the trustee of Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose INA Trust. Ms. Renuka's actions are nothing short of inspiring. Now we are honored to have her as our speaker today. Shankar Subramanian is a founding director at 9 Dots Corporate Solutions Private Limited. He's present with us today as a representative of Rotary Bangalore. His Rotary experience speaks about his inclination for social change in the roles of the club secretary and later on as its president. Mr. Shankar has also served as chairperson for the Rotary Action Group for Multiple Sclerosis India. He was a project director for COVID relief during the pandemic and was instrumental in raising funds in lakhs for the same cause. He's a founder of DGIS, a photography group to practice and use the skill to support various charities. Mr. Shankar is an advocate for multiple sclerosis and is a governing council member of the MSSI and is a part of the International Working Committee of MSIF for World Multiple Sclerosis Day. As a certified behavioral analyst and value analyst, Shankar brings to us his views on accessibility and inclusivity today.
Arun is a life wellness coach. He was considered healthy until he was diagnosed with an incurable autoimmune neurological disorder called multiple sclerosis. He made the decision to take the news in stride. His life has just begun. His self-motivated nature pushed him to make his new life meaningful by making a career with what he does best, listening to others. Upon applying for certification, he was successful and is now an international certified life coach. He started coaching and has helped a lot of people live their lives by overcoming their fears. Despite his health issues, Arun successfully encouraged and motivated many. He joined the MSSI and was soon the face of invisible symptoms of multiple sclerosis in India. Mr. Arun has also walked the ramp for notable fashion shows. Today, he is known as the man with a walking stick.
Hi Renuka, hi Shankar, welcome to the GAAD program.
Hi, Arun.
I guess after the introduction, I guess it's time to dive into the questions directly. So Renuka, I will start with asking you what is MS in brief, or multiple sclerosis in brief.
Hi, Arun. Thank you so much for giving me this opportunity to be on this platform. To answer your question, multiple sclerosis from a layman's perspective, that is somebody like me who's a caregiver for an MS person. The simplest way to define multiple sclerosis is it's an autoimmune neuro disorder where there's a sheath around the nerve of every human. It's called myelin. And your own body attacks the myelin, thinking it's a foreign body, and it starts chipping it away or eating away into the myelin. And once that damage happens, then the message from the brain to different parts of the body, which is controlled by the nerves and the brain, gets disrupted and gets short-circuited. And therefore, it could lead to vision impairment, slurred speech, gait problem, bladder and bowel issues, spasticity, and even sometimes in severe cases, it can lead to severe disability, which is the sad part. So yeah, in a nutshell, that's what multiple sclerosis is.
That was quite something that you said. You know, it's actually in a nutshell that you said. Probably just a little bit of understanding. Shankar, does Rotary have any specific initiatives in the area of multiple sclerosis?
Right. So Rotary has been, working in the area of, community service for a long time. It's one of the oldest NGOs. And one of our focus is disease prevention and health is one of our key focus areas. And we work with various aspects, like, for example, one of the achievements of ours is to battle, eradicate polio from the face of the earth. Now, we are that much close to eradicating polio. Now, multiple sclerosis is also another area of interest for Rotary. We have what is called as a Rotary Action Group against multiple sclerosis. And this has been, in operation for the last 30 years. And we are in the process of expanding it to many countries across the globe. And India has joined the movement last year. And this year we are planning to have some events along the World MS Day to launch off some of these activities. Past 2 years, we couldn't do much because of the COVID, but you will see a lot of action from Rotary Action Group against multiple sclerosis. And we are here to support the MS Society. That's one of our principal objectives.
Renuka, just an impromptu question that I thought I should ask, because somewhere I read in your credentials that you work with the Multiple Sclerosis Society of India. So if you could just throw a brief about what MSSI is all about, it would be helpful.
Yeah, sure. I am currently the Joint Secretary of the Multiple Sclerosis Society of India, which is actually the only patient welfare organization. We are also a charity and non-profit organization. It was established way back in 1985. It started with just 3 MS persons. But now today, we have close to 3,000 plus MS persons registered from across our 9 chapters. The numbers are still growing. When I last checked sometime in December of 2021, it was around 3,000, and we hadn't added the Trivandrum chapter. So we have 9 chapters actually across India, and I'm sure you can find our information on www.mssocietyindia.org because there's a lot to say. I can't say everything about MSSI in a 35-year-old organization in like 2 minutes. However, I want to definitely highlight that we work at 2 different levels. At the chapter levels, we are providing quality of life and improvement of quality of a person with MS's life, which includes physiotherapy, scholarship, counseling, providing medical reimbursements, aids and mobility, appliances. We also conduct medical seminars and camps. We organize our MS persons to visit neurologists on special appointments. That we do at the chapter level. And at the central level, which is the head office level, we are advocating for the rights of persons with MS in the area of access to affordable treatment, access to employment and livelihood opportunities, and of course, we are constantly engaging with ministries, which include the Ministry of Social Justice and Empowerment and the Ministry of Health, especially because multiple sclerosis is now recognized as a disability with the Act of the Rights of Persons with Disability 2016. So that's about MSSI.
Thank you so much, Renuka. In fact, you talked about employability, which is there in the RPWD Act. Now, what, according to you, are the issues faced by the person with multiple sclerosis when they get employed?
When they get employed?
Yeah.
Okay. So I think one of the biggest challenges about getting employed as an MS person, and I'm already thinking that there are MS persons who are now employed, irrespective of whether they are in the public sector or the private sector. So the biggest problem is that because of the lack of awareness about the symptoms of MS, the employees are not often very compassionate in providing a reasonable accommodation, which is enshrined in the Rights of Persons with Disability Act. That's one aspect. But there's another side to the whole thing. Even though the Act does ensure reasonable accommodation for persons with disabilities, our own MS persons find it very, very difficult to express their problems to their supervisors or their managers. And that causes a huge problem because A, there is a social stigma. B, if I come out come out in the open and say I have MS, I am afraid that the organization might not support me, or I might have to be asked to leave. That's the second aspect. So that kind of hides, doesn't allow me to come out in the open. The third aspect of what happens when you're a person with MS in employment already is this huge fatigue factor and cognition. So if our employers, or if the employers are not sensitized to giving us gaps or giving us rest time, it is often viewed as these people are not even competent, which is really not the case. So these three aspects seem to be the really very, very common issues of persons who have MS and who are employed. Because eventually what happens, if these three things kind of come one after the other, day upon day, on day to day, every day of your working, your productivity gets impacted, your self-esteem gets hugely battered, and the ultimate goal is, the ultimate result of something like this is you lose your job. And it's nobody's fault, but everybody has their point of view. Employer is looking to get their bang for the buck. Employees are having a problem. There is an issue in between. There is no bridge. So then, those are the challenges. And we try to, there are lots of people who are employed with MS who are doing a wonderful job, and my hats off to them. But I think I've been able to kind of capture the first top three trends of how and what issues an MS person faces when they are employed.
Okay, thank you so much. Now, what according to you, I'm sorry, Shankar, I will get back to you in just a minute, but what according to you, Renuka, are the issues faced by an MS person at work? And what are the specific, when you talk about reasonable accommodation, what are the specific accommodations which can be taken care of by the employer?
So the issues are, let's say, the issues are because of fatigue, your productivity reduces. A lot of places are not accessible through the wheelchair. So access becomes a problem. And I know GAAD is all about accessibility. And it's so important that we are talking about this. And I would like to stretch the term accessibility beyond access to office. It should also be access to comfortable working space, access to rest time, access to flexi time. And these are all a part of the reasonable accommodation as per the RPWD Act. But, so that's one aspect about the challenges that you asked me and the reasonable accommodation. But, it's a catch-22 situation. And I'll tell you why very quickly. Even though multiple sclerosis is a recognized disability and there is a 4% reservation of persons with disability enshrined in the Act, unfortunately, multiple sclerosis and Parkinson's is not included in that 4%.
Okay.
So what happens here? It brings on a policy level challenge. It brings up a larger challenge which cuts across individuals and people and goes into the policy level. And through our advocacy, we have addressed this issue by writing to the Prime Minister of India to consider inclusion of multiple sclerosis under the quota or the reservation of 4%. And when I say catch-22, it's because even if I have MS and I have a disability certificate and I ask for employment, how will an organization even provide me reasonable accommodation when I don't even come in the persons with disability reservation? So it's very, very difficult to overcome this situation. And I think everyone who has MS is a very hopeful person. MSSI is very hopeful. We are advocating to bring change. Someday we will hope to see more people with MS in employment.
Nice. Now, Shankar, coming to you, how is Rotary working with MSSI and other NGOs, global NGOs, or I would put it that, how is Rotary working with MSSI and the NGOs across the globe when it comes to multiple sclerosis?
RAGMS is Rotary Action Group Against Multiple Sclerosis, is also a member of the MSIF. Okay. And MSIF also has various MS societies who are part of them, like the MS Society of Australia, the MS Society of India. So we work very closely hand in hand with the local society. In India, we have just recently started. So we are right now starting with engaging with the local chapter in Bangalore to start with. And we are trying to do some events there. And this will set a precedent for us to work with the other chapters across. Now, the advantage of the Rotary is that the Rotary clubs are there across the country. In every small city, town, you'll find a Rotary club. And we intend to be a bridge between an MS person and the MS society in that particular area by helping us connect to the MS society and also see how we can support them. Like, for example, we have provided some wheelchairs, motorized wheelchairs to one of the MS persons in Bangalore. We have, given some laptop to a child of an MS person. So, Rotary has immense resources which we could tap on, whether it be employability or whether it is resources in terms of support. So we can really be a big support to the MS society going forward in trying to channelize some of our projects and do joint projects with the MS society. But we don't want to drive anything ourselves, but we would like to be more support structure in terms of expanding the reach of the MS society to the entire country.
Now, I have one more question for, this is a question that both of you could answer. What are the biggest issues faced by Rotary and MSSI in India when it comes to identifying and supporting PWMS, that's person with multiple sclerosis?
Renuka, you could go first, and then I could go with the Rotary angle.
Okay. So this is a very pertinent question. The biggest challenge about identifying and supporting persons with MS for MSSI is the lack of reliable data source. Number one. Number two, even identifying how many people are living with MS in India is such a difficult proposition. And for the last 28 years that I have been involved with MSSI in different capacities, I have been hearing the same data that there are 100,000 to 400,000 people living in India with MS. I heard that in 1998. I hear that even today in 2022. So this is one of the biggest challenges. Also, even identifying people, the data that is being quoted is probably only tier 1 or metro cities. I'm not even sure how many people are living in small towns and tier 2, tier 3 cities where diagnostics and access to diagnosis is also not available. So the numbers could be very, very high, but we don't have access to that. And as a part of our advocacy initiative, We have actually again written to the Ministry of Health, Ministry of Social Justice and Empowerment to start a national registry for MS. I was also a part of the working committee of the MS International Federation Atlas of MS, which clearly showed that there from 2.3 million people living with MS in the world, it's gone up to 2.8 million living with MS. And India and China make such a large population. So you can imagine if India's data is not in the MS Atlas, how difficult it is even for organizations like MS International Federation to even advocate. But since we are a part, just like RAGMS is a part of MS International Federation, MSSI is also an affiliate member. So that is one of the challenges of identifying. From the challenge of identifying and getting to the numbers of how many people are living with MS, the next biggest challenge is very few people want to come and be a part of MSSI for the simple reason that the social stigma, the shock factor, the constant dilemma that, oh my God, I have got a debilitating disorder. Let me get on with my life. I will figure out about other things later, takes precedent. The quality of life is thrown out of the window. So that is also a big challenge. But now, again, it's a little, there's a little bit of a good news. We have already got a medical and scientific advisory committee comprising of leading neurologists of India. And they are very proactive. They have helped us to identify more MS persons, look at the assessment guidelines for issuance of disability certificate. So I think, again, being the optimist, I think the challenges are definitely there. It's right staring us at our face, but the solutions are also there, and it'll take some time to overcome those challenges. So I think those were your two questions. One is, what is the challenge in identifying, and how do we support, right? Yeah.
From the Rotary perspective, we over the years have been working with different causes, whether it is environment, whether it is heart surgeries, kidney, artificial limbs, So there has been a tremendous amount of focus on health and health-related issues. Now, added to this is we have started this multiple sclerosis. So it's going to be a huge battle within Rotary as to what to support, because you have a huge menu card of things, and then, people will say that, well, I'm more, let's say, emotionally connected towards, let's say, a heart surgery or doing a dialysis, or maybe an artificial limb, providing an artificial limb. So just like what Renuka said, there's very little awareness. So when there's little awareness, there's little emotional connect. So it's you see, the word multiple sclerosis sounds like some technical jargon. First of all, it doesn't even evoke any kind of emotion there. For example, if I were to say that, okay, there's cancer or there is some heart related issue, suddenly, there is that emotion that comes and say, how can I help? What can I do? Now, with the word multiple sclerosis, first of all, I don't know what multiple sclerosis is all about. And then on top of that, I'm trying to say, so now I'm facing the same issue with organizing for the World Multiple Sclerosis Day. I'm going talking to club presidents, come be a part of this, World MS Day event. It's going to be a historic event. First time we're doing. And multiple sclerosis, okay, what is it now? It's like, so I have to, whatever Renuka said, the myelin sheath, give her all that explanation, all that. But it still does not, unless you see or meet an MS person or see the life of an MS person, you really will not understand that. And the biggest challenge for Rotary is to, expose Rotarians to what exactly MS is beyond the word multiple sclerosis.
In fact, you probably got me into my, I should say, last question that I was thinking about. In your own words, what are your plans for the World MS Day, which is coming up now? So if both of you could give your input for that, so that people are aware and they join in.
Yeah, so I'll go for it because I'm passionate about this World MS Day. I think Renuka knows that reason for that. And uh, the last, I think from 2008-9 onwards, we've been observing the World MS Day. Initially, the World MS Day, we were trying to grapple with what it is, and there were some campaigns, and we at even the MS societies were kind of grappling to understand what should we do and how should we go about, and we did something. But later on, we saw that this is a great opportunity for us to raise our voices, be seen, be heard by the authorities, use it for advocacy, bring about solidarity, and bring in various stakeholders together. And I think one of the very important stakeholders here is Rotary. And what we are attempting to do is to bring Rotary clubs together to understand what is MS, engage with MS persons, meet the MS folks. On the 31st of this month, we are having an event in Bangalore, and where there'll be more than 20 odd clubs, to 20 to 25 clubs, Rotary clubs will be, for the first time in India, they'll be coming together to, be in solidarity along with the Multiple Sclerosis Society Bangalore chapter. And together we will be conducting a program where we'll be felicitating persons with MS, doctors, physiotherapists, caregivers, and we are basically celebrating the battle with adversity during this particular event. And with this event to start off, we would soon be keen to work with the other cities as well. And the idea is to connect the local Rotary chapters with the MS Society in that particular city, so that they can form a bond and take this to the next level.
That was nice. Renuka, the stage is all yours.
Yes, in fact, I know the passion with which Shankar is involved in the World MS Day, and we go back to about 8-9 years and 6 years where he was the India rep for on the working committee of MS International Federation's World MS Day programs and the theme. And we have worked very closely, and it's lovely to see him in another avatar, me in another avatar, coming together on this GAAD conclave, I think it is, talking about accessibility. And the plans that MSSI has is like all MS organizations that are member countries of MS International Federation. We also joined in solidarity to bring a large collective of voices to commemorate World MS Day, which falls on 30th May every year. And this year, because of the COVID, for the last 3 years, we have not been able to do any in-person, but slowly with the opening up, all our chapters are doing different activities, keeping the COVID pandemic protocol and guidelines in place, but with very restricted people. So there will be in-person events. There'll be fun events, there'll be educative events, and also we are already celebrating this whole month of May in creating awareness and connecting with new stakeholders, because the theme is connections. So we are going to be connecting with different stakeholders. We are going to be doing virtual webinars. We're going to be talking to different segments of people. We are also going to be carrying stories of people with MS, which Shankar rightly said, the emotional connect and the compassion of seeing a MS warrior and live his whole life in a day-to-day manner. We are hoping that people will get to know that this is something you can support, and there are people who are overcoming huge challenges. So we have programs lined up, and if you follow our Insta and our website, you will see some videos. We're going to be posting that. So a lot of things happening. Hopefully we should be able to notch it up a little bit more and bring the awareness. So yeah, please do visit our website and our Insta and our Twitter to see more on what we are doing pan-India for World MS Day.
Thank you so much. That was, in fact, quite a interesting conversation that I had with both of you. And, you know, to sum it all up, I would say is that, uh, MS people do not want sympathy. And that is a prime focus that we need to work on. And, they just don't want sympathy. They just need a hand to hold on. And thank you so much, Shankar. Thank you so much, Renuka. It was a pleasure meeting you. And,
Thank you.
Hope to keep in touch, and, we'll get more suggestions and more information from both of you to how we can work together, and looking forward to taking it forward. Thank you so much.
Thank
Thank you
you
for the opportunity. Namaste.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Renuka. Nice meeting you.
Pleasure
Thanks.
meeting you. Thank you.
Arundhati Nath is a freelance content writer, children's author, and independent journalist currently based in Guwahati, Assam, in northeast India. Her work is diverse and can be seen across major media houses such as The Guardian, CNN, BBC News, South China Morning Post, Al Jazeera, The National News, Living Bird, The Hindu, Mint Launch, Condé Nast Traveler, Miss Magazine, CS Monitor, The Juggernaut, Jetwings, Outlook, Traveler, and National Geographic Traveler India. Currently, Arundhati is a student at Mitra Jyoti in Bangalore, known for their support and dedication to support people with disabilities generally and visually in particular, via education, training, counseling, etc., to integrate them into mainstream societies and families. We're so glad to have her here with us today. Our next speaker is Syed Mansoor Shahab. As a computer teacher for visually impaired students at the Mitra Jyoti NGO, Mr. Mansoor helps tutor and improve basic and advanced computer usability skills. He conducts training programs using non-visual desktop access, a screen reading software which enables people with blindness to use computers. The career-centric computer training at Mitra Jyoti is specifically designed for graduates and postgraduates who seek jobs immediately after completion of their training. Both these programs make visually impaired people computer literate and opens up the world of computers and internet to the people with visual disabilities. Since 2012, Mansoor has trained over 600 visually impaired students to develop their basic computer skills and has helped over 200 students to be proficient in advanced computer techniques. 300 of Mansoor's students are now placed in different reputed companies. The computer skills that they have achieved through the training acted as one of the major factors in their recruitment. Many of his students have also cleared up many competitive exams and have now got government jobs. He also inspires his students to take up further studies and make the best use of the internet. With such reputable achievements, Mr. Mansoor will continue to empower his members to achieve professional skills and to live independently. Here we have Mr. Mansoor.
Hello and welcome to this video interview. The third Thursday of May is celebrated worldwide as the Global Accessibility Awareness Day. This day is observed to improve awareness around accessibility and to make the lives of the 1 billion people with disabilities living in the world more accessible and more convenient in their day-to-day lives. Today we have with us Mr. Syed Mansoor Shahab, who is a trainer with Mitra Jyoti, and Mitra Jyoti is an organization in Bangalore which has been working in the field of empowering persons with disabilities in general and the visually challenged in particular. Welcome to this interview, Mr. Mansoor.
Thank you, Arundhati.
Could you tell us a little bit about yourself and your role at Mitra Jyoti?
Peace upon everyone who are watching this video. So myself, Syed Mansoor Shah, born and brought up in Bangalore city. So currently I'm working as a computer trainer in Mitra Jyoti from past 10 years. So my role in Mitra Jyoti is to enable and improve the skills of visually impaired people in computers. So then next I want to tell about our Mitra Jyoti. Mitra Jyoti is an organization which is working from past 32 years for the welfare and the goodwill of our visually impaired people particularly, and for other disabled too. So here usually what we'll do, we have planned the things like from the education part, then skilling the candidate, then doing the placement for the candidates. So in the education part, what we have done, like we have set up a digital book library. So where the candidates will get the books from first standard till the post graduation and PhD and other competitive exams books too they get. Then next we have a braille press. So there also the same thing. The candidates who are willing to study in the braille. So we have a books from first standard till post graduation and competitive exam books too are available here. So with these programs, we are trying to first give the education for the candidates. Then after the education part, like they should get the technical skills. So we have a computer training center. So where we'll train the candidates in computers. Like first initially we'll train them the basics of computer. Then like creating a file folder, editing the books, all this stuff. Then afterward we'll start with Microsoft Word, Excel, PowerPoint, Outlook, browsing internet, then using different online libraries and accessibility testing too. So after training the candidates in the technical skills, then we have a placement sale where our candidates will get placed in different MNCs. It's for the skilled candidates also. For unskilled also we have a work like in the garments or maybe like a helper works. So next we have with the computer training, we train them mobility, because with the computer or technical skills, a mobility training also very important for the candidates, because if they want to do anything independently, they should have the mobility. So then with that, we train them like how to do the signature and English communication skills. So this is a small introduction about me and our Mitra Jyoti.
So could you tell us how the visually challenged use mobile phones and computers?
Okay, like most of the people may be surprised, the people who are not aware like how a visually challenged people can work on computers, because they think they can't see so they can't do anything. So for the computers or maybe any other devices, we have a screen reading applications. Like for you can take for the computers, if you are using a Windows operating system, for that we have a inbuilt application, you have narrator. Another thing, like you can install a open source application called NVDA, non-visual desktop access. And for the commercial purpose, we have JAWS, which is stand for job access with speech. So what is the work of this screen reader? Means whatever text is there on the screen, it will read out for the visually challenged with the help of text to speech engines. So next same thing, again you go to the Mac. So Mac have a voiceover. It's also an inbuilt screen reader with Mac you will get. Then when you come to the smartphones, like Android based smartphones have talkback. So it's also a inbuilt application which comes with your Android mobiles. For the better experience, or if you want to experience this screen readers, what you can do, if you have a smartphone Android based, go to the settings. In settings, you can go to accessibility. Then there you have a talkback option you can open. So when the talkback will on, so that time what you can do, so like usually you people will do single touch to open anything. So here we should do double tap. So this is a thing. And same thing, if you want to explore the computer, you can on the narrator for the Windows based operating system computers. That also is inbuilt application. Or you can install NVDA. It's again open source. nvaccess.org website. From there you can download. So I just request everyone, if you are eager to know, so once you can yourself can experience it.
So what is your view on the current state of accessibility in various aspects of our lives, and how do you think creating awareness about this, especially on this day of GAAD, can help improve the situation?
Okay. If you come for the accessibility thing, so first I want to think like most of the people, when we talk about accessibility, they think this is for disabled people. So first I request everyone to remove this thing from your mind, because accessibility is not only for disabled, it's for each and everyone.
Right.
Because like everyone will have some another problem. Maybe you can take a senior citizen people, so they also have certain problems. Maybe they can't walk because due to the age they can't walk, they may have little bit low vision kind of thing, they may lose their eyesight. Yes, and maybe for the kids also same thing, like kids can't read the things. So for them also you can think, and same thing like uneducated people also should be able to access each and everything easily. So another part like disables too, because there are more than 1 billion people are disabled in the world. So according to UNO, and 50% of the population is disabled somehow. And some people may get temporarily disabled too, due to maybe some accident or something. So that's why accessibility is very important for each and everyone. And if you see current scenario, yeah, most of the people are working on accessibility. So everything is getting well developed. But again, in our India, if I want to talk about our India, so still we are behind in the accessibility part. Like you can say, for example, I'll just take an example of our Bangalore city. So still we have a BMTC bus, so it is a city service buses, so that are not so accessible. Like the steps are very high, then it may be difficult for a senior citizen to get into the bus, or maybe it's for a wheelchair user, it's 100% not possible in our BMTC buses. So they should have focus on this. I have read one article in Kerala government, almost they have done the buses accessible for wheelchair users. So here also they should do. So this is the one part. Another same thing, if you go to the parks, so most of the parks also not so accessible. They are so big parks and very famous parks, but if you see, there's no accessibility there. So that also they should focus on that thing. Then if you, for the business tycoons, like for example, I can say, if they focus on the accessibility part, they are getting the customers. I'll just tell one example. So I'll also do a lot of online shopping. Okay, there's one Indian company and there's a US based company. So always I think I want to purchase the things from an Indian company. But I'll go one step back, because if I see the accessibility of the both company's website or maybe app, I feel that US based app is more accessible.
Yes.
It's easy for me, so that's why always I purchase the things from there. So like me only, there are many other disabled people also, they may also think the same thing, correct?
Yes.
So there our companies are losing the business. So if they focus on really on this, for their business also it's used, and it will be inclusive for each and everyone.
Yeah, they're losing out on market share actually.
Yes.
Because of this, I think. Yeah.
And next thing, like you asked, it was like double question in this question only.
Yes.
Like awareness about the GAAD event. Yeah, I have noticed everywhere. Okay, everyone is conducting the GAAD event, but it's very limited. See, a big company is also conducting a GAAD event, but it's very limited. Like they'll organize this program only in the accessibility team. The team which is working for the accessibility, only the team will celebrate this day. And it's very limited. Like all companies you have seen, they may celebrate very grandly Women's Day. Correct?
Yes.
Each and every employee of the company will involve in this program. So same thing, I request everyone, like they should involve each and everyone in this GAAD events too. If they're organizing the program, so they should invite, because the awareness will be created.
Yes.
And next thing, like organizations, so they are also not working on this, frankly to say, GAAD event. So when this GAAD event was about to start, just few days back, I just asked our students, how many of you know GAAD event? So in that, not even a single person was knowing what is this GAAD. And all people have the backgrounds, like they have studied from the NGOs only, because from the childhood days they are in the NGOs. So it means our NGOs only not giving the proper awareness. So we should work, like NGOs also should start the awareness. And like I personally think that just today morning I thought, like a organization, so what they can do means, like how they conduct a fairs everywhere. So like that on the GAAD event, okay, we can see organizations is there in almost all the areas. So each area, one organization, if they conduct some fair kind of thing, related to the accessibility awareness, and if they invite the people, like they should properly do marketing also in the particular area. So it will be not expenses also, because we are not trying to do globally.
Yeah.
So in our area, if you try also, so it will be not expensive also. Like we can give, okay, the accessibility awareness, like how a visually challenged can work on computers. Like this, they should promote. Some people may get interest, like how it's.
Yes.
So like people can come and we can, in the fair, we can show them what are the things they are doing. So like this, and what are the problems they may face if the things are not accessible. Not only for disabled, for them also. That will be a good, what to say, awareness.
Yes.
I feel personally.
Yeah. So yeah, that's a good suggestion. So would you like to send a message across to the people listening to you today?
Yeah, I just want to tell one thing for everyone. So guys, let us together work and make this globe as an inclusive globe. So like all the 7 billion people should have an equal opportunity to utilize each and everything which we are there. It may be technical things, it may be any other things. So I personally feel like all the 7 billion people should be able to access each and everything. So it can't be happen with a single person. So it just needed all the support of all the 7 billion people. So if everyone will be contributing with each other and cooperating with, so we can create an inclusive globe.
Thank you so much for speaking to us.
Thank you.